In this video, we're going to talk about mix templates and why you should use them. I'm going to give you 3 good reasons why you should, coming up right now. Okay, so I don't want this video to go too long, so we're going to jump right into one of my mix templates, and then after taking a quick look at it, we're going to create a smaller one to show you how to do it. So in my mix template here, if you watched one of my previous videos on color coding tracks, you'll see that I color code my tracks. My drums are all this tan color here. The drum auxes are the default green color. The bass is blue, the guitars are green. The vocals are red. The background vocals are this pink color. Keyboards are yellow, and the instruments are the default brown color. And here's 2 extra auxes that I just have in case I would need one. My submix, which is all where my processing goes, and then the master fader or the mix 1 is right here. Now, I'll start right here. I'll put some default plugins on here, and I'll leave them grayed out until I actually record the tracks so I don't get any unwanted latency. What I do is install all these and then inactivate it so it's not on. I have VMR, which I use for the VCC channel. And then the Shep 73 EQ, REQ6, a couple of my default EQs that I use quite a bit. Then on my buses, I have processing there. Reverb channel, I have that, everything set up. And what's really nice, if I go here, once I turn this on, I have a default setting that I will have set right here. I don't have to go and tweak it because this is kind of where I will start with this type of sound. And same with this reverb here. This is another good example. So this is not the default setting, so I tweak it to the way I normally use this for that instrument, and it's all ready to go. I don't have to go find the plugin and insert it and then tweak it. That's kind of where my starting for me setting is, and I do that through all the tracks. And one of the benefits of doing this is that the track is ready to go. So when I open up this template, I'm ready to go. I don't have to sit there and fumble around to route channels or anything like that. All the routing is done. It's all pre-done when I set up the template. So this saves me time, and this makes me look professional. So there are the 3 reasons right there. Instant setup on the session. A lot of my common plugins that I use are already on the channel with predefined settings. And then when I'm working with the client, it helps me look professional and super prepared. There's nothing worse than trying to route something and something's not going right at all. So when everything's pre-set up, you don't have to worry about that. All you have to do is make the artist feel comfortable, record the tracks, and start mixing. So let's jump into creating a template. We'll create a much smaller one, but the method will be the same for as many channels as you want to do. So I'm going to come up here to Pro Tools. So we're going to go create new. So what we want to do is we're just going to not create from the template. So this is my template that I was just telling you about. So we're just going to create, we'll call this demo for demonstration. And we're going to keep the interleaved on here. Sometimes that's checked off, but I always check it so it's always on. And you can set your sample rate wherever you want it to be. The in-out setting, I just go to the last used. And then I'm going to click create. So what I want to do is insert some tracks. So we're going to come up here to track and new, or you can use the shortcut on your keyboard. And here is the new tracks window. Now there's several options on here. For right now, we're going to keep it in mono. We're going to install several audio tracks. And we're going to do it a little bit different. So we're going to install a small session here. So we're going to say, let's say we'll do 4, if you're a guitar player, piano player, whatever that is. But I'm a guitar player mainly. I play other instruments, but my main one is guitar. So we're going to call this guitar. And then we're going to click this little plus sign here. And we will install for keyboards. We'll keep the audio track on there. Click the plus sign and we will select another one. We'll go 2, let's go 3. We'll click delete there. We'll go 3 and we're going to go stereo on this one, stereo, and we're going to go over here to this, and we're going to select instrument track, and that will come in the default brown color, and these will come in blue, and we'll put in some auxes, and we'll put in 4, and then we'll put in a master fader, and we're going to click create. Okay, so there's our small session right there. So what we're going to do is do some routing now. So everything on here is sent to the mix bus. And what I like to generally have is a submix bus. You don't have to do it that way, but that's the way I generally do it. And I put all my processing on the submix, like on my... So we're going to start with by calling this a submix. And on the submix, we're going to come up here, and I predefined my submixes already. So let me show you what I mean. I'm going to click on this while I'm here. Submix. Okay. So if you watched the last video on aux channels and stuff, if you go to Setup, I/O, you'll see on the bus tab here all the buses that are available. And if yours are just bus 5.6, bus 7.8, and so on and so forth, all you have to do is just double click on here and create whatever bus that you want this to be. Let's say accordion, right? Everyone needs an accordion track or bus group for your accordions. So then that will show up there, and you just go down and do, but you'll see what I do here. And I do this in the same order, other than the submix. I usually put it at the very top, but this order here is generally my mix order down here. So we'll click OK. So now if I come here, you'll see that we can choose the accordion right there. So everything's preset up. It's super fast, and you don't have to worry about trying to route this when you're trying to just write a song or whatever. So like the guitars, let's color those channels. You color them whatever you want. You know my color. It's green. Keyboards. Okay. You know my color for that. That's yellow. And again, the reason I color them is because I can look and see where things are at super fast, and whether I'm on this or the mix window, it's super fast. Old school way, when you used to run an analog mixer, all your auxes would be at the end of your mixer. But with digital, really it doesn't matter anymore. You can put it anywhere you want. So for convenience, I'll put this guitar aux right after the guitars. So we'll come up here, we'll go to the bus, and we'll go for guitars. And then what I'll do here is select the guitars 1 through 4. How you do that is you select the first one, push shift, and then select the last one. And then what I'm going to do here is push shift. I have to look at my keyboard. Alt. And then we're going to select that, and then we're going to go to guitars. And that'll change all 4 of them at once. So you don't have to do them one at a time. So that makes it super fast. Now while I'm here on the guitars, I'm going to take this and send it to the submix, because that's where everything's going to go to get final processing. And then the master fader, I'll keep that clean. Here we're going to run a keyboard aux, and we'll come up here, come down to keys, and we can come here, run that to the submix, and then I'm going to select, push shift, select all 4, push shift and alt, and we're going to go to keys on here. Boom. Changes all 4. And then we're going to take these 3 and we're going to run those to the submix. And then we are going to... We're not going to run an aux for these. I run these right to the submix. So anything... It's very rare that I run an instrument to an aux. But I'm going to take this down here, and I'm going to put a little verb on my guitars here. So we'll call this one verb, guitar verb. Okay, and then this one we'll call, got to name that one guitars. Sorry, I have a second window, so everything's popping up over there. And then we'll call this keys. Okay. And what we'll put on here is, we'll call this one drums, easy drummer. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to install easy drummer on here. Actually, I'm going to go to the second input. I always go to the second input because sometimes I'll leave that first one open for if I want to add something before it. So let's go to instrument and easy drummer. Just passed it right there. Then I'll set up my drums. We'll leave that. But you can set this up to your favorite patterns or whatever, and then when you open this session, it will always open that way. I'm not going to take the time to do that now, but that is a good way to do it. But what I am going to do is I'm going to make this inactive. All right, so let's say on my guitars, I want the VCC from Slate on all four of these. So I'm going to go here, plug in. I'm going to go to Slate Digital. I go to Virtual Mix Rack, and that will install 4 of them because I pushed Shift and Alt and selected those 4, and it installed all 4 on there. So I'm going to push this over to the Brit N, put the drive up just a little bit. I'll leave everything there, the trim at 0. Now I may use EQ from here or the compressor. I don't subscribe. I bought all my plugins a while back. So I'm going to leave that as is. So every one of those channels have that. And for keyboards, I'm going to do the same thing. Shift, Alt. So you get the idea. The main setting is set up. Like I should have put some vocal channels on here, and you could, if you have a vocal chain that you normally use, you can have that set up ready to go. You don't have to fumble around and doing it, and it's super quick. Okay, so now what we need to do, we're going to come over here to File, Save. So we're going to, once we save that, that's all set and ready to go. So we're going to come over here again to File and then Save as Template. Second window again. Okay, I have a Brett template here. We can put it in there, or we can create a new one. And I was going to say too that in Pro Tools they give you a bunch of different options here. It's like, so if you go to guitar, what that will do is give you a bunch of different templates, like several templates, like a blues template, a rock template, and it will automatically install what we just did, basically, their version of that. And I just find that I like to make my own because I know what I want for my sessions. So what we're going to do here is go Add Category. Okay, click OK. So that populates there. So that's where this session will be stored at. And then I'm just going to click OK. Click Save one more time, and then we're going to close this out. And what we'll do is we'll open it up and we'll see what happens. See if we did it right. So we're going to go Create New. Okay, so when you open up the window, go Create from Template. And we're not going to use that one. That was the one I use. We're going to go Demo Category. And we're going to call this My Song. And this is all ready set up because we did that at the very front end of setting up the template. I'm going to go Create. And there's our session ready to go. All we have to do is plug a mic in and go. Now, this is set up to my interface. All these inputs up here. So when I put a mic into channel 1 of my interface, that's what this is. Channel 2, channel 3, channel 4. channel 5, 6, 7. I have 16 channels that I can use. So that's pretty much it. So again, the three takeaways are: the session is instantly set up. You don't have to route anything. Plugins are predefined how you want them. Your vocal chain or your guitar chain or your drum chain, whatever it is, it's ready to go. And then when you're working with a client and the band, whether it's a songwriter or a full band, when you're pulling up a session, everything's set up right when you open it up, and it saves time. That's the extra on top bonus. You save time, but it makes you look professional. You look like you have your stuff together. You're not, and I've been in a situation where I tried routing something when somebody was here and it wasn't working. You know, one of those moments where something's not quite going right. So I spent like 15, 20 minutes trying to figure it out. I was embarrassed. I don't have to be embarrassed. The template's all ready to go. So anyway, I hope you found this information valuable, and I would love it if you would subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.